It is LUNES Macho Monday. Ian Torch here, and yes, I know exactly what you're about to ask.
Where's the fucking music?
We are having audio problems, so do bear with us. But we do have a show to run, and of course, we have a few things to talk about. Of course, in the wrestling community, it's been revealed that Kane is in fact being inducted into the Hall of Fame this year, as well as Rob Van Dam and the Great Khali. Kind of a shocker with that third one. Some people were hoping it was going to be Vader this year, especially taking over as the Beast to fill in for Dave Bautista, but still Vader is not inducted into the Hall of Fame. Another thing that's, quite shocking for the last 7 of you to find out is that, well, Peacock, the new streaming service from NBC Universal, they are acquiring all of WWE footage, including the extended library that WWE has its hands on. But they're gonna start filtering some of that footage, which is going to be so much fun for some poor, unfortunate soul. If I had the patience and time and effort to do so, yes, I'd have Ursula dancing around while all that's going on. But that's not the case. At all. No. But I do hope you liked that little sound clip a second ago. So, anyway, yes. Peacock and the filtered history that's going to be coming in through the collective wrestling world, because let's not forget, the WWE library has a lot connected to it outside of WrestleMania and all of its names. They've got WCW, as well as ECW, Evolve, and several others. There's some WXW coming in. And, I brought up Evolve earlier. There are several brands, so that's going to make things quite interesting. And like I said, when the wrestling community found out that, some of that footage is going to be edited, they just collectively laughed as opposed to, slapping their foreheads or, throwing a huge hissy fit because, are they going to have their hands full? Yeah, I gotta say that particular Mae Young storyline, we've got to hand it to them that one was, well, quite unique. And also, all those moments during the Attitude Era where there was intergender violence, whether it was competitive or not, that's going to be a very interesting moment. The historic time that Stone Cold just beat Lita for 2 minutes with a steel chair, and we all watched it in real time, because there was no pause, there was no fast forward, it was all going on. But hey, at least it solidified him as a heel for a few more months while he teamed with Triple H, so yay to that. You also have to take into account earlier pay-per-views, like when Roddy Piper at WrestleMania showed that he was quote-unquote two-faced. I don't have to go into detail. Those who know why. But if you are curious, you can just type in Roddy Piper WrestleMania. And there's that image. I don't know if I'll get in trouble if I put up that image or not. So, yeah. Okay, I'll just tell you. Yeah, and the crowd really, really liked that. But, there were so many other moments that were really interesting, like when Paul Orndorff wrestled Mr. Fujiwara and decided to. Yeah, even back then we had to have said, dude, not cool. Not cool at all. That wasn't even wonderful. But there's still a lot of great stuff that I'm sure they're going to keep. I mean, you have the Ministry of Darkness and their consistent use of choosing to beep boop beep boop yeah, I mean that image is actually rather iconic, but I don't know if it's going to be allowed on the Peacock network, which I find interesting because they've got the John Wick movies, and those I don't believe are going to be censored or edited. And if that's the case, that makes us wonder about ECW. How censored are they? I mean, obviously the language, which, once again, should they? Because, they have movies with foul language and all sorts of other stuff. I mean, I just mentioned John Wick, and yeah, John Wick and all those dead Russians. Oh, sorry. Far Eastern European gangsters. But, yeah, that is, yeah. It's going to be interesting the next few months because, we're saying goodbye to the WWE Network and all of its catalog is going elsewhere. I mean, can't blame them. I mean, why would you? They're doing with the product what they want. It's just there's a slightly sour taste in my mouth. Because I know there's a lot of it that's deplorable, crass, and even kind of rude. But there's a lot that's also really memorable, and I don't even know where it falls into line with the rest of it. Yeah, like, if they're editing content for violent purposes, what about the iconic submission match between Bret Hart and Stone Cold, where Austin's forehead is busted open. He's gushing blood and cries out in pain and does everything he can to hold on because he knows he can't escape the sharpshooter anymore. So what does he do? He passes out in a pool of his own blood. And Bret refuses to break the hold. It made 2 stars that night. It gave Bret a new lease on life with his pious pariah persona. I love alliteration. And Stone Cold showed that he would not and could not quit. I mean, if that's not a star maker, I don't know what is. Now let's get on to the show. Ziggy Thrash just riling the crowd up with such a spurring, daring promo challenging the world champion, but now a triple threat against the former world champion and the other two combatants that were in the tournament and got so close as Yoshimuro, Dre Apex, and Pendragon square up and score shot for shot against each other. This one's back and forth, folks. Nothing like a triple threat to start the night. And listen closely as Yoshimura picks up the win. And now an intergender match as Jolly Fu takes on Destiny, and just like that, Gungan Jolly style, mi prendi in giro. And now the ladies are in the ring as Libra takes on Siberia. Back and forth they go. It's like the forces of evil battling the forces of good, and with the scales of justice on her side, Libra gets the win. Now Bao Zhang taking on Shadow Man as they go back and forth. Strong style, baby. These two are not letting up. And with a Call of Duty, he gets the win. Look at Thumper Moore riling the crowd up. That is why they love him, folks. And now, this is your main event, 6-man weapons match as Cell Block G take on the Persian Skyline. Mac Caliber in there with Glitter Dash, and in comes Banger. Prince Serif comes in, Mac Caliber tagging back in. Wood is getting splintered, chairs are getting destroyed, and with a Magnum Slug, this fight is over. Folks, I gotta tell you, that is one impressive show. Everyone went out there and gave it their all, folks. This is what it's all about. You know it, I know it, they know it. And soon, very soon, everyone else will know it because wrestling is picking back up. Yes, the doors are opening, the locker rooms are filling up, and tickets are being sold, folks, because wrestling is coming back. By the summer, I'm calling it, we will be back to our insane selves, and won't that be a breath of fresh air, ladies and gentlemen? But don't forget about these upcoming shows coming to you live and loud. Check any streaming services that might supply any of these shows because you don't want to miss out, as everyone is stepping up their game and making sure that you remember that wrestling is still alive today. Even with all the curveballs that have been tossed our way, with all of the cancellations, the reorganizations, the refurbishing of the product, it did not leave and it will not go away. So remember to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notifier to stay up to date on everything going on, because that's it! It's over! Ring the bell!